My name is Austin Belzer, and you're listening to the Austin B Media podcast version of my Nomadland review. Before we get started into my review, a quick disclaimer. I was provided with access to Nomadland from a screener from Searchlight Pictures, and a Blu-ray copy was also provided to me by Film Independent. Neither company has seen this review before me posting this audio review. Neither company has had any editorial influences on the following review, nor did the fact that I received access to Nomadland via either company sway my opinion of the film. Nomadland has had a profound effect on my life. Jessica Bruder's novel was one of my favorite books of 2017, not that I read many of those that year. And it introduced me into a world of nomads that society cast aside among one of the most significant recessions in American history. Bruder's novel also helped me contextualize something I didn't even realize I was preparing for: living in an RV in Arkansas. Yep, I live in an RV. On our way back from seeing my sister at the end of September of 2019, my mom and dad decided to move into an RV so they could downsize and live off one income, to pursue my mom and I's business pursuits, although I hadn't figured out my part yet. The ensuing weeks were full of Facebook Marketplace listings, looking at RVs, putting all non-essentials into big trash bags, buying new cell phones and cell phone service, who knew AT&T doesn't work everywhere, putting our RV on the lot. Well, actually, we had somebody else do that. And figuring out what RV life looked like, considering most of us lived in the cities or the suburbs, not rural Arkansas. In fact, the most camping we'd ever done was at local state parks like Ring River or Bear Creek Lake, among one or two others that I'm currently forgetting. So when the film adaptation of Nomadland was announced, you can imagine my excitement. Finally, Jessica Bruder's book was going to see the light of day and was getting a huge studio like Searchlight Pictures behind it. Then COVID hit and theaters closed. Months went by and there was no word on when the film was going to hit theaters or even a streaming service. Eventually, Searchlight announced that Nomadland would be making its way onto the festival circuit that year. Shortly after that, Nomadland was going to be coming to IMAX-ready theaters on January 29, 2021. On February 19th, Nomadland arrived in theaters as part of a day-and-date wide theatrical release and on Hulu. Now, does Nomadland live up to the 2017 book by Jessica Bruder? Well, kind of. Nomadland isn't really an adaptation of the 2017 book. Instead, it uses some of the real people from the book to create a new narrative, one less focused on a critique of the Amazon Camper Force program, which does make an appearance in the film, but without the critique, and is more focused on the critique of a society that has driven millions of people to leave their homes and take up a new home: the road. It's this idea of a life on the road that, while not unfamiliar to anyone who has visited a state park in the past decade or so, I don't think many people think about the people who this isn't a camping trip for. It's their way of life. The life of the nomad, especially the ones portrayed in Nomadland, is one of guessing where you're constantly kept on your toes. You have to think about where you can park if you have a long drive and you need to sleep, how you're going to prepare food in a confined space, and what you need to do if something breaks. What better director to portray this other than Chloe Zhao? I haven't personally seen all of her films, but I've seen The Writer, back to back with Lean on Pete, I think, Nomadland, and I will write up an email for her upcoming project in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Eternals, as soon as the full trailer for the film releases. Her direction here could easily come off as romantic. The way she uses the magic hour to portray the inner beauty of the earth is simply breathtaking. What's even better is that this inner beauty is showcased in the characters within the film. The tight shots of Frances McDormand, reveal her feelings in a way that only Zhao and her fantastic cinematographer Joshua James Richards can capture. Highlighting these moments of inner reflection and beauty is the score composed by Ludovico Einaudi. While the score is sadly reused compositions from Einaudis previous works, the score, like Zhao's direction, is understated and only serves to supplement the cinematography and acting by McDormand and the rest of the cast. Some may say that an understated score might not be worth listening to, but I think that argument is something that would track in something like Fast and the Furious. If Dom was talking about family for the 999,000th time, and the score was this gentle, contemplative score, people might get confused as to what was going on here. However, in a film that was all about these quiet moments, I think this serves the film well. Plus, if you don't notice it, it means I'm focusing on the acting and more technical aspects of the film rather than the score being blasted into my headphones. So, alright, I've put this off long enough. I should probably talk about the cast of Nomadland and the acting within. It only took about 800 words to get here. As I previously mentioned, there are real people, namely Linda May, who is the primary focus of the 2017 book by Bruder, Schwenke, and Bob Wells, who is the creator of the YouTube channel Cheap RV Living, and Van Dweller. In addition to Frances McDormand and David Strathairn. So we get this beautifully blended cast of real people dredging up things from their past and actors who are attaching their dreams and memories onto the characters they play. So much so that there is a deleted scene on the home video release where a police officer responds to a call and knocks on Fran's van using real-life details from McDormand's life to identify her. In this respect, I don't think I can call what is happening here as acting. Instead, the closest thing that comes to mind when describing the acting in this film is memory acting. To put it simply, I don't look at the acting in Nomadland as professional acting or anything of that sort. The entire cast is using their memories and injecting that into the story. Plus, it feels like when we see two characters talk to one another, it feels as though they aren't working off a script, instead of working off of a general outline of things the characters needed to say in that scene to move the plot forward. Whatever you want to call it, I think the acting is among the best I've seen in a film released this year, and McDormand deserved the Oscar, even if I would have preferred Mulligan. Nomadland isn't just a reflection of one of the darkest eras of American history. It's a reflection of the soul and what it needs in order to survive. Nomadland is rated 5 out of 5 stars. You could see Nomadland in theaters, streaming on Hulu in the United States, rent it or buy it on the digital platform of your choice, or pick it up on Blu-ray. Until next time, my name is Austin Belzer from Austin B Media. I created Austin B Media. And you can catch me on Twitter at Austin B Media, Instagram at Austin B Media. Facebook, Austin B Media. You can subscribe to the website at austinb.media, and you can subscribe to this podcast for more stuff. And also the Patreon at patreon.com/AustinBmedia. Until next time, this is Austin signing off.